Hey guys, we've been talking about the evolution of MOWG, and I've talked so far about 2 out of the 3 paradigms and 3 things that we're doing differently now. First thing was integration. Second thing was being able to allow the websites to self-regulate. So between integrations, giving us more stuff that we can self-regulate that's of value, because we can have subscription options move up and down the page. We can have the sections switch out. We can have newsletter opportunities like join our newsletter, move up and down the page. We can have video swap out. These things are being formed right now in terms of the abilities to handle that. That's part of the evolution. But we built the integrations. That was the first part. They're built now. So the next part is building this ability of the websites to self-regulate, change their sections out, decide where things should go, watch how people act, make measurements, and actually improve conversions, okay? Now, the third thing is also equally important, if not more, and that's creating better content. So we dabbled with AI options again. I mean, we do it over the years from time to time because never can you get a bot to write like a human. Well, you still cannot get a bot to write well enough. But we reached a point where quality AI opportunities for writing content, if it's being regulated by a human, we figured out how to get very, very efficient with it for the sort of thing that we do. And I'm going to show you a before and after and make sure you understand the difference in the way content is generated, because we started applying that to some of the projects and we're seeing great results. And the number of true leads that we can get, the better rankings that we can get from doing content this new way is blowing our minds. So let me just step back to the commonality of what we've always done, which is Spintax with a human behind it, babysitting the Spintax. So we're going to go from babysitting Spintax to babysitting AI. And I'm going to show you what the difference is like in a way that you can fundamentally comprehend. So we need to create variety of our web pages. And if we're going to make 10,000 web pages, we have to have 10,000 different ways to say the thing. You can't have the sentences be identical. Google doesn't like to see that. A sentence here and there being identical, yeah, that's going to happen naturally. But if the flow is the same, if you constantly see the same sentences throughout web pages, there's a limit to what Google will accept and a limit to the number of pages Google will accept that on. Okay? So you have to really get varied. And then when you get really varied, you know you're casting the net extremely wide. And a lot of the pages are going to have wording combinations that no one will ever see. And then the last pages will be the ones that people do see. But it's whatever they type brings up a page related to that. And very often you don't know which 5%, say, of the pages are actually going to get noticed. Okay? So what you do is you cast the net wide and let people choose, right? And then you can always cast more wide nets. New pages, new topics, new concepts, more pages. Well, let's talk about how that looks. So if you took a sentence, okay, the quick brown fox jumped over the lazy dog in Chicago. And I'm just saying in Chicago for a couple of reasons. One, we find that when we geo-target, it really allows us to show up in locations better, and everybody's in a location. So when they do their search on Google, it's from a location. So if you can come up with a good excuse to use the location, and then even if you're going nationwide, instead of having one page trying to compete at nationwide level, you have a page for each city competing within its city. And what happens is Google knows that the viewer is in Chicago. They don't have to ask for a quick brown fox Chicago. They don't need to. Meaning they don't need to ask for dentist Seattle. They can just ask for a dentist, right? Google's going to serve locally first, right? And you guys know that. If I was going to buy a mattress and I live in Seattle, I don't want the mattress to come from Miami, Florida. The shipping costs would kill me, right? Google already knows to look for local pages first whenever possible, okay? So we try to do our runs that way most of the time. Now, we don't have to, but it's a good idea. It also makes it easier to create a lot of variations, because here's the other thing. Some people go, can't you take the exact same page and just change the city name? No. Google absolutely says no. That's considered plagiarism. 99% of the pages are the same. Google allows no more than 30% of any page to be like any other page, okay? That concept. Now, several pages can have that same 30%, below the fold. When you're done with your pitch, you come to your final offer. But above the fold, the stuff that humans see when they land on the website. And then somewhat below the fold, in other words, the way the conversation unfolds page by page needs to be different, because if it's the same, then too many pages are competing for the same algorithmic results. And that's a problem. Well, these points have shifted, because then the counter argument is, if you're a plumber and you have multiple locations and you do water heater installation, does that mean you actually have to write a brand new pitch for every single city for water heater installation? Sometimes Google says yeah, sometimes Google says no, sometimes Google says somewhat. And so these things change over time. But what we do know is this: the more you can emulate the uniqueness of the content such that it really looks like it was written by entirely different people, the better. And one thing Google can follow through is synonym usage. And so I'm going to show you before and after right now. So how do you create 10,000 variations of this sentence? Let's just say that. Well, you start in. The quick brown fox jumped over the lazy dog in Chicago. What could I do to create variation? I could say a quick brown fox instead of the quick brown fox. Does that really count? No, but it's a very common thing, right? Now, let's do this. I'm going to use, where do we have this thing? I haven't forgot about this, thesaurus, okay? So we can use thesaurus entries for quick, okay? And that's going to give us a whole lot. And in some cases it's duplicate because it's reading from different sections of the thesaurus, right? Brown, maybe there aren't many. There's like light brown. You know, you could even go light dash brown. Although for Google, that's the same thing. Dark brown, okay? Dark dash brown. Just, it's not good to do that kind of thing as variations because it looks good on the page. The reality check is that Google considers those the same thing. So choose your weapon, all right, and then just drop the rest, okay? Drop. All right, because otherwise you're not going to be very honest about it. So let's say that out of all of these, let's say like half of these just don't make any sense at all. So I'm just going to delete a bunch of them. Shift cells up, okay? Only because I'm trying to keep this sort of realistic. Okay, so now we have fox. Well, you can't really say anything different than fox unless you can. After all, what is quick brown fox in a real usage case? It could be a Canon digital camera. Okay, well, that could be, instead of a Canon, it could be a Sony digital camera or a JVC digital camera. So, you know, this could be Canon, Sony, JVC. This could be digital, and then whatever the other kinds are. There are different kinds of cameras. And then camera, and sometimes even camera itself has different names these days depending on usage. So you just got to figure that out. And, you know, what are you selling? What are you offering? What can you work with? Now, concepts like jumped over the lazy dog in Chicago, you know what I forget about? Whether I can even do this, okay? Because we haven't done this in a lot. We never do it like this. But this is kind of cool. It just gives you the idea real fast. Jumped over, hopped over, skipped over, soared over, flew over, flown over. No, not flown. Hurdled over. Yeah, maybe. Leaped over, leapt over, vaulted over, sprang over. Not sprung over. Started over. Nah. Jerked over. Nah. Flinched over. Nah. Recoiled over. Nah. So I'm going to drop that, right? Okay. So you see what I'm doing? I am creating a varsity with a lot of options. And then it could be what? Chicago, Denver, San Fran, right? It could be Orlando, except Orlando's underwater these days. So very simply, in dog, canine, pooch, Mount Han, pup, puppy, and that's it. None of this is going to dog somebody is to chase them, right? So let's clear those contents out. That's not what we meant. All right, so how many variations can we make now? Well, we need a calculator, don't we? For those who don't understand this, here's how this works. You start at the beginning and think the combinations. What are they? The quick brown fox, the rapid brown fox, the fast brown fox, the speedy, the swift, the hasty, the hurried, or a quick, a rapid, a fast, a speedy, a swift, a hasty. So you go through all these combinations, and frankly, it means doing this. All right? And then copy and paste it again. Paste. Because we're also going to take this, Control C, Control V. All right. And the reality check is we're going to take all of these and we're going to just alphabetize this thing real fast. And you'll see what I'm doing in a sec. A to Z. And just continue with the current selection only. And guess what you get? You get all the A's for that, followed by all the thes for that. Okay, so we've got 34 cases. It says 35, but don't forget we have a header row, so it's 34. Now think about what that means. We've got 34 cases that we can use with brown, light brown, and dark brown, huh? So literally, we could do this and copy this twice. Okay, I'm going back almost to the beginning. This is how we used to do this stuff manually in the old days. This is literally how we did it. And some of you guys exactly remember this because you did it by hand. This is how we did it. Isn't that crazy? And then I'm going to sort that A to Z and just continue with the selection. And guess what? That gives us all the combinations that exist so far. We used to do this across the entire page for, 1,000 columns out, right? We used to do it one at a time. It used to take a long time to do these projects, right? You guys remember that in the old days? So that's 102. Anyway, let me make the math simple because you're going to want simple math to understand what does it really mean for you in terms of, in terms of how do you do the math? Well, you do it like this. Now that you see it visually, this should make sense. You've got 2 cases of 17 cases. Again, not 18 because there's a header row. It's really 17. So you've got 2 cases of 17 cases of 3 cases of 1 case of 10 cases of 21 cases. And that's what you do. 2 times 17 times 3 times 1. Literally 2 times 17 times 3 times 1 equals, already it's 102 times what? Times 10 times 21 times 10 times 21 equals. That's 21,420 cases where at least one word changes in the result. One word's not enough, right? We really are going to have to bust this down to the final 1% or 1/10 of 1% to figure out where a lot of columns change, not just one, right? But if you think about it, yeah, these results get nuts for huge really fast, right? If I was to finish, it'd be times 49 times 4. 49 times 4, okay? 4,200,000 cases where at least one word changes on the page. Again, one word's not enough. Probably out of that, only like 0.5% of the results have enough things changed. So times 0.05 equals 210,000 pages that Google might just say yes to case by case because they are unique enough, okay? Now there are a lot of other things to consider. Are there images on the page? Are there videos? Is there something else cool like a Google map or link to a travel map? What is that, a header, an H1 tag? Are there paragraphs and subheaders? Is there a sidebar? Are there internal links pointing at other pages? Are there external authority links leaving the website? Are there any backlinks coming into this page? Has anyone else said this page is worth reading, right? All these things to consider. But the reality check is this is how we always did the content. Variations. And so a var sheet, of course, usually doesn't get that deep because it goes on forever. Because humans have to review all the wording. But take a look. Columns and columns and columns and columns of this stuff. You see how far out we are? Really? We got this far out, right? An adjustable rate mortgage, also known as, or a variable rate mortgage, also known as, a floating rate or variable rate loan. See how smart that is? Somebody had to do that by hand, or you'd get mixed and matched results. You'd get an adjustable rate mortgage, also referred to as a floating rate loan. No, you can't have that. An adjustable is not floating, right? Or a variable, I'm sorry, maybe it is floating. A variable rate mortgage, called a floating rate when it shouldn't be. It should be called a variable rate, right? So all I mean is somebody who knows this stuff had to go through and make sure that this stuff works, right? That it doesn't mix and match wrongly. Now, we have tricks to that. We invented something called brackets. And if you put a bracket at the beginning and the end for any variables anywhere on the entire sheet, then if you're telling it to make 10,000 pages, every time it makes a page, that'll be the first value. That's for page 1, then page 2, then page 3, then page 4, page 5, page 6. But if you did it here at the same time, think about it. This one mix and match, which is kind of cool if you want that. Because you're going to have page 1, then 2, then 3, right? This is going to be page 1, 2, 3. And then you've got, 4, while this is page 4. Do you get it? So you're going to mix and match. It's going to be 2 times 3 combinations. 6. Okay? And so on and so forth. So these brackets could be anywhere. You would use them when you need to use them. Seattle, Washington, Chicago, Illinois. So you got your cities and your states. Maybe your county names, maybe your company name, company address, phone number, email, right? There are things that you need to match, okay? So whenever you need the things to match, you would use brackets around the headers. Okay, I'm explaining all this to make sure you understand what you're about to see. So yeah, and then we have all these other deep things, dealing with backlink mastery and dealing with other kinds of variables and dealing with all the stuff that's just hard to explain, and nested variables so that we can create different kinds of link mastery. Literally, all the attributes of links being cycled around and yet weighted according to the order we want to appear on the pages. It's really complex. It was a pain in the neck to build, but then we just use them, and we use them for backlinking, we use them for geo backlinks, we use them for authority links, cross links, internal links, keyword stacks, for all these things based on all the stuff, like whether it should be an exact match keyword or keyword in context, or a different variation of the city-based keyword, or if it should be just some other thing. That we had all these generic clicks, like read more, learn more, read more here, view page, visit website, all that stuff. That's generic clickable links, all these things built into the project. Now, we've done it this way for 14 years. Okay, it's like the only way anyone can do this stuff. It's why systems like Spin Rewriter have been around forever, and we've been using them forever, right? Very common. Okay, now let me show you what that means. Here is Spintax method. It means creating those variations. Here is the output. Okay, it's unique. Every one of these is unique. At least one word is different in every single case. No two of these are alike. And I didn't do many. I'm just trying to illustrate the point. But the format is identifiable. Home administration, just how to find an excellent property supervisor. Home management, just how to find an excellent property supervisor. Home monitoring, exactly how to find a terrific home supervisor. Okay, you see the synonym usage? Home or house or property, administration, management, or monitoring, and property could be residential. So this is like home, property, house, residential, and this is administration, management, monitoring. Okay. Then what do we have? We have just how to find, exactly how to find. So it's just or exactly or how to, just, exactly, or how to. And then we have, to find, to locate, to discover. Then we have an excellent or a terrific or a great, right? And then we have property or home or residential property or house, right? Then we have supervisor or manager. Okay, you see that? So you know what Google could do? today that Google never really did before, but it's starting to do now. As far as I'm concerned, they're going after more and more cool uniqueness, and I think they're doing this. They are starting to reverse engineer the variations. So if they can read multiple pages on a website or a stack of websites and see this format, right? Let me go back to where the words are. This format. Then they realize that the whole project is deconstructed from a single page. Okay? A single project. Now, does that mean it's bad? No. But it means that these variations are not that different. They have the same effect on the reader. They're not unique user experiences. So, we have done this kind of thing aiming for the uniqueness it provides, and we've done it for years and years. And we said, Google will not accept every one of these pages, the ones that only change one word here and there. Google just take the first one it found for each city anyway. Like if these say in Chicago, in San Francisco, in Denver, in San Diego, in New York City, then Google may just allow them all because they're not competing with each other. Why is it wrong for you to say home administration, just how to find an excellent property supervisor in Chicago, and say on another page, home management, just how to find an excellent property supervisor in Denver? They're not competing. They're not even aiming for the same readers. There are Denver guys who are doing a search and Chicago guys doing a search, and both those pages wouldn't show up. Okay? So Google doesn't really have a problem with that, but it takes a lesser seat. Why? Because people these days are getting more and more into writing unique pages for each different topic. They are writing their own unique pages. More people are getting into business, they're getting web savvy, they're putting up websites. So that's happening. But here's what we need to do, okay? And this is what we started to do, and it's having a huge effect. Here's a new way to do that. If we babysit AI, then here's what we get instead. Questions to ask when hiring a residential property manager. How to find the right residential property manager for you. See, synonyms can't do that. You can't deconstruct that. This didn't have anything like for you or for me or with you or on your behalf or for your use. There's nothing like that in there. So questions to ask is different than how to find. Questions to ask when hiring is different than how to find the right residential property manager. Now let's keep going. The top benefits of residential property management. That's not a synonym at all. We went from manager to management. Totally different, right? How to find a great residential property manager. What to look for in it doesn't say great or terrific. It just says what to look for in a residential property manager. See what's happening here? We can rapidly generate these variations, okay, with a human babysitting AI and reviewing the output. And here's what's even cool. Look at this. The original, it would capitalize the variations that were capital to begin with. Then it uses lowercase for the variations that were lowercase to begin with. Then it capitalizes the ones at the end. So we had the noun, and the noun were capitalized like proper nouns, and then the first letter of the phrase was capitalized. Okay? And that's exactly what it stuck with. Over here, no. Questions to ask. Questions and ask are both capitalized. But down here, questions to ask. Questions is capitalized but not ask. So we are killing the footprints, right? This is as human gets. These are all variations worthy of the same page title. So if we wanted to create one topic, this is 24 totally viable, unique ways of naming those pages, where so far, if Google just saw this, the titles, it would say all these pages have a right to be up. Okay? They're not, you're not going to be able to reverse engineer this into spinnable format at all. They are uniquely written. Okay? That's huge. Now let me show you how independent paragraphs go. Okay, because I'm sure you get the idea about variations. Try this one out. Single paragraph variations via new method. Check this out. Puyallup is a city near me, okay? Puyallup is a great place to make your home. With its close proximity to Seattle and Tacoma, Puyallup offers the perfect balance of urban and suburban living. And with whatever we call our company name, as a matter of fact, I should do it this way so it makes the most sense. Control C, Control H, Control V. I'm going to do it like this. Com name, okay, replace all. There we go. The name of the company, whatever the company is going to be. So check it out. Puyallup offers a perfect balance of urban, suburban, and with com name, whoever it is, okay, you could have your dream home in Puyallup without breaking the bank. Com name is an organization that provides down payment and closing cost assistance to first-time home buyers in Puyallup. In addition, ComName also offers a variety of other resources to help you finance your new home, including credit counseling and financial education classes. So whether you're a first-time home buyer or you're looking to move up to your forever home, ComName can help you make your dream a reality. Here's what's different between that and Spintax. In order to do Spintax, we had to get an original sentence. And then create variations from it. And then to avoid copyright, we'd throw out the original. In this case, this was written by the AI. It was not written by a human at all. There was no original. And if you look, there's no plagiarism. This thing was constructed on the spot, and it's too unique because wording combinations always lead to uniqueness when they're just generated instead of copied from somewhere. But not just that. Let's take a look at another one. This is a different paragraph for a different page that may or may not be for Puyallup. Maybe it's for another city in the surrounding area. Okay, I'm going to say instead of Puyallup, okay, let me do it this way to make sure I get it. I just want to make this clear, okay? Control H. I'm going to say Puyallup. South Bend. Because, well, actually, you know what we should be saying? We should be saying city as a token, right? Okay. All right. And then county, whatever the county name is. Sometimes there's county. And so if I see Pierce, because it's the county named here, it's going to be county, okay? And it's not here, is it? It's in the original page. All right, let me just do it that way, right? Don't save. Sorry about that. Let me do it this way. I just want to make sure to be really, really clear about how easy this is to do. So Puyallup. Actually, let me just say Pierce while I'm at it. And I can put a space after it to really get, clear, right? Control V. Oh. I wouldn't put a space in this case. I already know Pierce is only Pierce here. Okay, there we go. And then Puyallup City. All right, there we go. So we got variations within variations. Check it out. And Seattle and Tacoma, I call this City 1 and City 2 or something, but I'm not going to keep wasting your time on that. Let me make this point, though. That was a great place to make your home with its close proximity to Seattle and Tacoma. City offers a perfect balance. Blah, blah, blah. Here's another version. Come. City is a community that is committed to helping its residents achieve the dream of home ownership. The company, ComName, is one of the resources that city offers to help people finance their new home. ComName, the city, the company, provides down payment and closing cost assistance to eligible city residents. In addition, name can help connect you with other resources such as lenders and credit counselors that can help you make your dream of home ownership a reality. If you're thinking about buying a home in city, be sure to check out name for all the resources and assistance you need to make your dream come true. Again, this was not copywritten from or taken from anywhere. It's not copied. This was thought up by the AI, which already studied billions of pages related to what we want it to write, and then generated some results by literally writing out of its own head. And we can do plagiarism checks and we'll win every time. I've done so many. I've already proven that. City is a great place to live. And name can help you finance your new home. We offer a variety of resources that can help you with your down payment, closing costs, and more. Nothing about this. City's name, like Puyallups Keller Realty, is a great resource for anyone looking to finance their new home. Do you see what I'm saying? Absolutely nuts for cool. So all of these variations, right? When we create the pages now, we write them like this. But what we do is follow a model. After all, how do we know what paragraphs we want it to write? We started with an audit to make sure that we can write correctly for the main keyword cluster. In other words, a set of keywords that say this is really what our topic is all about on the seesaw with the fulcrum. This is the main keyword, and we're going to go so far as talking about these things and about those things. We could talk about these other things and these other things, but we're going this way and this way. This is what our page is about, okay? And then we want to write variations for other cities nearby. Well, once you get the audit right for one city, especially a bigger city that's more competitive, then that audit's going to hold for all the other cities surrounding it. And a lot of other cities nationwide that are simply less competitive because it's the most competitive, biggest cities with the most competitors that force the biggest requirements to beat, okay, in terms of content. But we create the original format for a page that will work, that will beat an audit, and we check that, make sure that's going to happen. And once we get that done, now we can do our variations for those things. And we've reached a point where if you were to be buying pages like this and they were done fully, then there's efficiency and economy of scale. So let me see if I can make this make sense. Let me just take some page. We're going to be updating so many things because it's so cool. Okay, let me just take a page. All right. If I look at this page right now, all right, and I just come down, we've got our H1 tag starts right here. This is the page beginning. All of this other stuff. Okay, I'm going to point that out in a little bit. I'm going to explain it in a little. But for right now, I'm talking about writing the page. It starts right here. That's the H1 tag. It's the very main header of the page content. Then comes like the subheader in this case, say, and then the first paragraph, okay? And then a subheader with its paragraphs, another subheader with its paragraphs, another subheader with its paragraphs, okay? Subheader in the paragraphs. It keeps going, right? You've got like like a 3,000 word web page here, okay? And it ends right here. This is the closing, right? And actually it ends right here, okay? This would be another piece that was added in separately as a call out. So people are thinking this up separately than all of the stuff that they wrote during this time, okay? So if I were to write pages like that, and let me just double check the word count so you'll get the idea, because I want to make this clear. I'm basing the math I'm about to give you on 3,000 words, and this is only 1377, so it'd be a lot cheaper. We have pages that are as many as 7,000 words. Some are 2,600 words. Some are 3,000 something. It depends on what the audit says we're going to need to beat a topic, okay? Or to keep up with the topic, okay? So, and even then, it's not really that many words because some of this is just those headers are stuck in the alt tags of the images and stuff like that, right? Whatever, 1,350 words, right? So a little less than half. Now, most of our pages require about 2,700, 2,800 words to compete for the front page of Google. Okay, so let's say 3,000, because there's a range anyway. It goes from like 2,600 to 4,000. But in that range, just depends what you do with the page. Did you write it well? Yeah. Do you have enough headings and subheadings? Yeah. Then what about the rest? Did you add images to the page? Yeah. Are they unique? Yeah. Are they second gen images? Yeah. Do they have image alt tags on them? Yeah. Do they have title tags on them? Yeah. That relate to the page? Yeah. Are they clickable? Some are. Okay. Great. What about videos? Do you guys have videos on the page? Yeah. More than one? Yeah. Are they videos that are kind of popular? Yeah. Do they have thumbs up and thumbs downs? Yeah. More thumbs up than thumbs downs? Yes. More than 1,000 views? Yes. All right. So all these things we attend to because these are things Google cares about for the page to rank. Okay. So the reality check is we put it all together, and videos are always non-competitive to whatever it is you're selling. They're from people outside the area talking about things that are interesting enough for the inference to happen, for you to say, wow, that's cool, but they're outside the area, but these guys promote them, so I'm going to call these guys because clearly they say this is great and I love this, so I want to call these guys to see if they do it too, because apparently they do, right? Inference. You put good stuff on a page if you don't already have somebody's videos to work with. And you make the videos popular anyway. Okay, so we do all this stuff, right, on the pages. So anyway, at scale, here's the difference. Not at scale means this. For $500, we can create the regular page contents like this from here, let's say, to here, and we can create a 3,000 word page and another one for another related topic, another one for another related topic. We can do five pages that are 3,000 words each. And we can give you 100 unique variations of each of them. 500 pages, $500. $1 a page for this level of total uniqueness based on the original audit. So all the pages that are written follow what we had to do to win front page rankings. So you're going to have 500 pages that are like right around that vicinity of being absolutely audited for the front page. You're not going to audit every one of those 500 pages. It costs money to audit each one. It takes time to audit each one. But the fact of the matter is, if you want to write about roof replacement, pick a big city, find out how hard that was, write that, and then when you make new variations that are truly uniquely written for every different city that you want to approach, they are going to be competitive. Most likely they're all going to pass the audit or just come close to passing the audit. Okay? And the ones that come close usually are going to win anyway because the audit is general purpose. There are like 280 things that Google checks on a page, of which about 260 matter. And then the other 20 are give a little here, you'll lose a little there, but it's totally okay. Like if you add in a Google map, your page speed will drop a little. But we don't mind because, you know, adding in a map adds to the user experience even though it costs you some speed. Get it? So Google's not going to ding you either way. It's going to say, which way do you want to go? You know. So having said that, when you write that high and then produce a bunch of pages, they tend to all win too. They're worthy of front page rank. Okay, and especially the way we do contents. So that's that piece, okay? And what's the difference? At scale for $1,000 and up, so 1,000 pages we're gonna wind up doing. We'll do 200 each of 5 topics, say, or 100 each of 10 topics. But the difference at that point is that we also are able to generate all the different headlines, all the different call to actions, all the different sub-headlines to fill in, not just there, but down below. Like we'll also generate that too. This is verbiage, so we just have to see. We may have to price a little bit extra separate to generate that, but it won't be much because it's not that much content. It's what, 6 paragraphs? Yeah. When you talk about 3,000 words, by the way, it's about 17 words per sentence. So 3,000 divided by 17, 177 paragraphs for $1 each. For $1, 177 paragraphs for $1. And then if you're going at least $1,000 into the project, we can cover other stuff too. Now, you might say, I want 100 testimonials, I want 1,000 testimonials. We'll do a testimonial run and produce those and come up with the names and the locations that fit. Say you want 1,000 comments on the blogs. We can do that. Stacks of comments for related blogs. So these are project additions, okay? A little bit beyond the beyond the $1 a page, but exactly, if you said I want a whole ton of testimonials and infuse those into the pages, then that's a combination of us creating the unique ones, babysitting them, make sure they're right, and then get them into the var sheet because they have to get into the var sheet, and then upload that into the website to overwrite it, double check it. What else happens beyond just writing totally unique content? We have ways to bust paragraphs up or combine them. So every time we create pages, one page will be like this. Another page, these 2 paragraphs might be 1 paragraph. Another page, these 2 paragraphs might be 1 paragraph, right? Or it could be 2 paragraphs, but one of these, this next sentence, the variation of it would be up in here, right? So we can decide when to remove subheaders and add them, when to remove paragraphs and add them. So we can make sections disappear and appear. We can even rearrange sections efficiently that are in here. So if we thought this, and this could be in any order, then the pages will swap. And it will not be copies. It'll be variations on the theme that swap. So it's variation within variation within variation at a newer level than we've ever been able to do in 14 years. Never has anyone done this as far as I'm aware. Not at this level, not for this price. Now, maybe this can be done at the highest levels, but I never see tools like that offered to the public that work well. Not as well as I just showed you, right? Where we could efficiently create 3,000 word pages for $1 each at scale. And then if you go far enough, like the equivalent of $1,000 or more for 1,000 pages, we can also take care of all this extra stuff that appears on the page above and beyond just the page contents, right? And then for, I don't know, like what I say, it was 6 and 7, 176. That might be 7, might be 8, 9, 10. So 10 out of 176, like another 5%. Can you believe that? It'd be like adding another 5 to 10% to the project costs. Maybe 10, because you wouldn't just treat it the same. We have these new sections to put them through. It takes a little extra human effort. So maybe 10%. So instead of $1,000, it'd be like 1,100. And that'll cover not just the contents, but it'll also cover the testimonials and these various boxes here. Okay, might be 1,100. We might finally price it out like 1,250, something like that. But so what? Then you get your pages for $1.25 each. 1,000 pages at $1.25 each that are fully, uniquely written and audited, or based on top auditing, so that the pages are at or near or over the audit requirements. Most of your pages are going to be at or over the audit requirements. The rest of them are going to be like right on the edge. And then guess what? Talk about another service. What we realize we can do every month? We could, instead of rewrite through the entire page, we could just take a single paragraph and rewrite through that. So the amount of money you would have to pay to get a whole bunch of variations of that one paragraph done, so we can just run that through the pages, small. Really small, right? That is small. And so that would just be part and parcel of the service, even if we bump it up slightly. Maybe $1.30 per page, and that'll cover the page updates all year long. Like a nickel a page. How's that for nuts? And even beyond that, if you've been watching our other videos, you understand that we're talking about the sections of the pages reorganizing themselves and boxes moving themselves to catch the most attention from people. That's what Google wants to see anyway. They want to see what looks like humans trying to improve the page to maximize conversions. And we're there doing that. That's impressive. That is so impressive. So we're already making changes to the pages anyway, and then this is just adding cool icing to the cake. All we're going to do is impress Google. So what is highly different about the output? When instead of doing 100 domains times 100 subdomains times 100 pages or 1,000,000 page launch each, which is according to the old style var sheet method of doing things like this, okay, that's how we'd press the button and create the 1,000,000 pages. We're going to sacrifice a lot of that mess by chopping it off. We're going to go lean. But that's because only 5% of those pages would have been worth it anyway with the wording combinations, which is fine. The other 95% foister them up, right? Except for something. You guys know that there's 4 categories for backlinks, all right? Spam, low, medium, high, quality, right? This is about quality, all right? So, low quality, okay, is what we've always generated. Lots of web pages that are new on the scene. Nobody knows them. No one heard of them. They're written well enough to qualify because the English is good, but the wording combinations aren't always the best. Who knows? But it's considered low quality. All right? What would make it high quality? And what would make it medium quality? Well, medium quality is the way we're talking about right now. Okay? Actually writing smartly about the topic in totally unique ways, page by page by page. High quality is a lot of other great pages pointing in at it and age progression. And those pages being updated from time to time. So we are going to shift from generating low quality to generating this medium quality, okay? And that's going to lead over the course of time to generating high quality naturally. What about spam? Spam, we never did. Spam is garbage. That's zero quality, okay? Spam means you created a bunch of pages that were identical to each other almost. You only changed the city or something. Google hates that. We never produce it. And always when we would check our backlink ratings, they would not be spam. Spam would be like some crap like 2%, which Google never cared about. It expects that. That happens to everyone. But we're primarily low quality. Well, guess what? Do you think that one medium quality link is equal to at least 10 low quality links? Oh, heck yeah. Not a question. As a matter of fact, one medium quality link is equal to about 100 low quality links. And that means for high quality, it's like, like 0.1 or something. So for a high quality page being 1, that would be like 100 medium quality pages, which would be like 10,000 low quality pages. Okay? You might say, why didn't we just do this? The answer is, it wouldn't have been affordable. As a matter of fact, the way we invented to do this at $1 a page now, even with the tools, I don't know if anyone else knows how to do that. Honestly, I don't think anyone else can provide that price. I don't think anyone else is giving a price for that kind of output that's done according to audit and that's done in an esteemed way. I mean, quality about the topic, not just generated to solve the answer and make sure to produce enough pages. Okay? And we can do it quickly with our people. It's not as quick as hitting a button and generating 10,000 pages. No. What is it? It's like one person can do 3 pages in 8 hours that are 3,000 words each. 3 pages of 3,000 words each, do 100 variations in like a work day. Okay? So it'll take a day and a half for one person to get 5 pages done. Okay? So for more, we have more writers writing at the same time, like each writer's working on their own page all week long to create all the variations that were bots say. But then that goes far out, right? That is to create a lot of results, or we can work on multiple jobs at the same time in a case like that. Okay, so it's just per order what people want to order. How many unique pages do they want? And at that price, go as far as you can go, because you're going to lay the groundwork for top quality pages. Now, one last thing that came up that people asked about, because this was interesting. It's a good point too. Guys said, aren't you supposed to add more to the page every so often? Not just change it, but add more? And he wasn't sure why, but he'd heard that. I'll tell you why. Over the course of time, people try to compete with others, and so they have to write more content to be more about the topic than the first guys who have to write more content to be more about the topic than them. And so everyone's trying to do this, right? So over the course of time, you'll eventually want to add something more, right? Now, is this really true? No. There's a point where you're going to get a better benefit by splitting your page into 2. But as long as they're linked together properly and you have internal links in there, Google's going to weigh that higher than the one page that has no internal links. You lost the internal link score. You lost the additional page in the menu score. You're just stuck with one page. That's too long for somebody to want to read. Okay? So there are tipping points where you split it, like when a stack splits. Okay? So we're aware of that. But can we add another paragraph every month, say? Yeah, we can add another paragraph every month. We can make the page bigger every month. We could split it after 6 months, but I don't want to get too technical. It'd just be easier to create another page, right? About the next thing. Anyway. Yeah, give me a few months, we'll be splitting the pages naturally. Because splitting the page we can do. It's not hard. It's just decide where the breakpoint would be, split it, create the next page, move the variables to that next page, and then come up with a new page title for that next page, which will start maybe right here if this is where the page gets split, and continue down from there, right? No big deal. And then we have yet another page that attaches to the menu and so on. And then internal links that can go to it. That's easy. Okay. But instead of going massive, we're going to go for this quality angle, because guess what? We're going to make a lot more money aiming for medium quality links like that and maintaining those properly. And here's another thing I think. I think that refreshing the whole web page, now that we've been doing it for months, we've seen results climb and then drop. Some climb anyway, some drop anyway, but we looked and said, what causes that? We think when you refresh a whole page every month, even if you maintain all the anchor points, it's not worth as much as what we're seeing now when we only rewrite through a sentence or a paragraph that's of lesser importance on the page. No real keyword density there. Nothing really important in that one paragraph. But it means to Google we're still there making adjustments. And we decided, well, making adjustments can also be other things. We could try a new top video to watch. We could move a section around to see what people are scrolling down to, see if more people scroll down further. We can create extra things to do on the page that are valuable. We can have a pop-up on the page. That's when we realized, let's have a little of all these things operating in parallel, affecting the pages differently, so the Google bots can see what looks like self-regulation page by page, as though the pages are being studied and improved upon manually by personnel. And not that many mass pages, but man, what is $1,000 then? It would be like this. If we had 10 domains times 20 subdomains times 5 pages per subdomain, in other words, 20 cities with a set of the 5 pages that's totally unique for every city, times 10 websites. See, 20 times 5 is 100. 20 times 5 is 100. That's $100. 10 websites makes that $1,000. But guess what? Now we can do cross-linking across these, and they're all medium quality pages aiming to earn high quality status eventually. And over the course of the year, of just these kinds of updates that we're going to do, they're going to get there. See how crazy that is? Absolutely top of the game. That was always our Achilles heel, I could say, because it's everyone's Achilles heel, is dealing with content. We figured out now how to make content totally unique and yet top quality based on audits so that everything we produce is worth writing and Google will see it that way. Okay? We can guarantee that. We can guarantee the indexing. We can guarantee to fix any pages that aren't indexing and get them to index. We can guarantee that the backlinks will show up as medium quality if they're being tracked and that they're aiming for high quality over time. We can show it. Okay? So all this stuff is probably the final things we ever thought about with our website, short of self-regulation and regulation, self-regulation across the stack, right? Which is what our other videos were covering. And the fact that you guys have wanted integrations and we're starting to produce them now, the kinds that you would want to make your website cooler for people and to make Google happier with your website as a result of those integrations being active. Okay? Yeah, projects with us are insane. So what's that effect? I just want to come back and point that out. It affects new jobs, right? We can't go back and rewrite through everything from scratch unless there's pay for it. If people are paying to upgrade the contents of their old projects to the new standards, great. And for people who had these massive websites and they say, I want to chop a lot of that down. I want to redo it in this smaller box that's containable, that's better quality, because I want those results, right? I want this, right? So get rid of all those extra pages, those 95% that are so many low qualities, because we're not going to need them anymore. All we really need is this, which is going to lead us to that. Okay? This couldn't do that. This could never get to here, so it could never get to there. It would always be here. Okay? It was always a game of mass. This is not. This is a game where you walk in here and you earn your way to there. Okay? And spam, no, man. Spam will be like 0.5%, if anything. Okay? I mean, nothing. So not even something to worry about. Okay? And the spam that'll exist probably won't even be ours. It'll be other people's because we're doing our stuff so right. Okay, that's the stuff I wanted to tell you about. So all the jobs we ever do, oh yeah, what's that effect? That was the question, and the answer is it affects everything new. It also affects, like if you get websites at Website Installer, one or more, because they're pretty cheap, and you decide you want to get one, and you say, Dave, I'm going to buy it, and it's going to generate 100 pages for me based on the var sheet format, the old way of doing things. But I want to pay you to rewrite through the pages and make it better. We can do that. And you might think, well, what if I only get one website? That's fine. You want 1,000 pages on the one website? That's not a problem. We can go after, 1,000 cities, except it wouldn't be 1,000 cities. We'd offer like 5 pages that are all related to any one person in their city. So take your 1,000, divide by 5. It's 200 cities you would be pitching for on the one website. But that means that we're going to write all 5 pages times 200 cities in such a way that they're all top quality by the audit. Assuming 3,000 words per page, then there you go. It costs $1,000 to get that incredible website done, and a little more to be able to get the repetitive phrase through the entire thing. Although, frankly, on one website for $1,000, 5 pages, that's not, I mean, I'm sure for $1,000 we'll do that anyway. It's not going to be hard. And for all the updates that come out that self-regulate, the way the websites self-regulate, your website will learn not just from what it does, but if you allow it to learn from the other websites in our network, because you tell us we can group the websites, then that means other websites out there that are having their best conversion actions, you're having your best, can communicate once a week, month, say, to see who's got the best numbers, what's causing the best numbers, and do likewise on your website. Okay? So your website will control itself every 100 visitors as best it can. and keep resetting the timer every 100 visitors for the next 100 and keep working on improving its conversions. But if it's also communicating with a bunch of other websites that are doing things differently, it's just a bigger cross-section of tests. So if we find that other tests are running better results out here, then whatever relates to you can update your pages and you'll just get a natural conversion boost that way. Not to mention the fact that your website's controlling itself and making changes all the time. So Google sees that and realizes that people are there doing important things and valuable, meaningful things with the page. Material, useful changes that are aimed at improving conversions. All right. And then those of you who are coming in through Website Marketing Solutions, okay, if part of what you're paying for is based exactly, and I'll ask you if you walk in at that level, if you're coming in at one of these upper levels here, especially these two here, the 1,000 and 1,250, talk to me. All right, you can put all your stuff in here, but you know what I'm going to assume? And I'll just double check it with you if it's not clear. I'm going to assume that what you want, you could even put it like a program name, really. Where is it right here? Program name. And we could call it, I don't know, new AI method. Okay? Program name means $pages. Okay? At that scale. And what happens is we're going to create those websites with those upgrades for you. Okay? So that would have to be at $12.50 a month only, because it's not just the 1,000 creation, but we have to make the websites based on your needs. Okay, fine. So that right here that I was just talking about, Control X, that can only apply at this level of the game because it's got to cover other things. There's hosting, there's the domain name, although you got your domain name here, right? What website do you want to market? We got to create a bunch of websites to back it up with images, templates, all that jazz. But this right here, this would be you saying, I also want in on the brand new content method, which is cool because otherwise it's SDS content. It's pre-written, one size fits all content, just sprinkle in your keywords and your destination URL. That's the old way. Okay, lots of low quality backlinks that add up. And they did add up. They'd improve your rank. But doing it the new way improves your rank a lot more sturdily and gets you a lot more traffic. That's all. Not just that, but these websites are going to do a better job of ranking next to your websites and getting sales to you and sales for you. Okay? Really cool. So there's that. What about Decrypt My Leads? For those of you coming here because you want to claim this position, and for those of you who bought in recently where we're in the middle of your projects, right? Like literally, we just started your projects, okay? Whatever you're getting for whatever the project is, I don't know what the project is, whatever you want to get, then when we do these projects, you're making it possible for us to do it with that level of content. This is where you're paying us to create projects so you can get a share of the income, okay? And the way we do it is by having a so-called guaranteed out. We guarantee you, like it depends on the amount you're spending. Something like $7,400, you'd be basically guaranteed to get like 4 times that back in a year. And if you don't get it the first year, whatever you earn in that first year from us selling the leads to those companies, you get to keep, because then we got to roll you over into the next year for another 4 times back until we can get you 4 times back in a year. So if you put in $7,400, we got to get you $29,600 back within a year before we can say, okay, we're done paying you for that position. Now it's ours. Okay? Because all you did was pay money. We had to do all the work. But that's a way of paying you fairly for the amount of effort that you put in, right? So you got positions at all levels. The higher the offset, the more expensive the project. The more the population, the more expensive. So just play with these to see what you like. By the way, this comes with PayPal credit. So if you're able to get PayPal credit, then they'll front you money that you can use to make payments for this out of. Okay? So it'll be an option for an instant check. Like you can go to buy and apply for PayPal credit by clicking the button while you go to get this position. If they give it to you, what it means is you've got 6 months interest-free to pay it off in payments of whatever size you want, whenever you feel like it. You could do it all the day before. You could do it in 2 chunks. You could do it a few bucks a day until you get it done. Whatever you want to do. Okay, that's the way they give you a loan through PayPal. All right, just apply for PayPal credit on the way through if you want. Okay. One thing we're offering people too, for guys who want to get these positions, we're just pointing it out because it's a good idea. Go with lendingtree.com because they really have a wide array of opportunities. And for loans, there's personal loans for you just going after a personal loan to get a position like this if you're not running a business for it. And then business loans over here, if you're looking for a business loan because you're doing a project maybe for yourself and you're like a limited liability. And it's going to start like this. How much money do you need? Well, you can pay for some or all. Maybe you just need $4,000 because you got the rest. Maybe you need, you really want to aim up a little more now because you can, and you're like, well, okay, I need $16,620 or whatever it is, continue, right? And they can give you answers in minutes, okay? Literally very fast. Business loan and personal loan, you get fast answers. And you'll see what the offers are. And you'll see what you're interested in grabbing. And because these are happening in terms of lead sales and we're generating leads like, man, we already are in the industries that we're hitting, which is real estate agents and roof max. Those are 2 that are a big deal. So you can just do a search, real estate agents or roof max, okay? And you can see what the options are and see what you want to get into. Okay, I've got videos about that, so if you go back through my last handful of videos, you'll see them all. All right, and then when you go here, it's going to force you to register first so that you can keep up, so you can see all the leads as they come through, all that kind of thing. You need to be able to log in, see what's going on, be able to get paid. You apply your PayPal information there, whatever you got to work with. By the way, you can pay with PayPal or Stripe through here. You can pay through a credit card through here. It's all the same. It all works. And then you've got it. And you're locked in, and we owe you until we get you paid off. Our biggest goal is to get you your amount done. For real estate, it's 6 times over. Our goal is to get you done before the year is over, not 5.5 times over. That's a miss. 6 times over plus more, or at least 6 times over. So if we miss, that sucks for us. That means maybe the first year we only could get you 4 times back. And then you've got another whole year. So the next year you might get like 12 times back. Well, if you got 12 and 4, that's 16 times your money back in 2 years. It's like 8 times per year over on average, right? Nuts cool for you, right? So locking in is good for you, okay? Getting in is good for you. And if you can get in with like PayPal credit, 0% interest for 6 months, then by the time you start dealing with it, we've probably paid you off, all right? Just so you know. It's not a guarantee. It's an expectation, but that's just it. It's a game worth playing. All right, it's not a game. I'm using phrasing when I say it's a game worth. Disclaimer, it's not a game. All right, having said all that, okay, I think you guys get the point. I'm going to go ahead and break this off or render it. It's pretty darn cool. Looking forward to seeing you guys coming in, and I'm very happy to finally explain this component, being that we're writing totally uniquely now. No var sheets based on variations, based on synonyms anymore. We're not doing synonyms of nouns and adjectives and adverbs and subclauses and so on. We're not doing that anymore. We're doing totally unique contents, completely different number of sentences and so on, but all based on winning audits. All right, really cool.